Well, welcome, friends. It's so wonderful to have you all here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Andy Weislogel. I'm the acting chief curator here at the museum and also the curator of earlier European and American art. We're delighted, Patricia Garcia-Gil, my co-conspirator in this series of programs, and I are delighted to welcome you here to the museum for another offering in our piano series, which is now in its second full semester. We also want to welcome those of you joining us via the live stream, and thanks very much to our CIT professionals for their wonderful setup and help during today's program. As I mentioned, we're fortunate to be hosting for a second time a group of new pieces, premieres by DMA composition students here at Cornell, interpreted today by talented Cornell keyboard artists. These piano series programs that feature creative encounters between music and art are a collaboration between the Johnson Museum, the Music Department, and the Cornell Center for Historical Keyboards under its director, Professor Roger Mosley. I'm especially pleased to say that this spring series is made possible in part through the generosity of one of our museum supporters, Alex Latella and the Latella family, and we're really grateful to them for this important support. It's very encouraging. I'd also like to thank my many museum colleagues who helped prepare today's program, including Serafina Masters, Chris Loomis, David Ryan, Andrea Potachniak, Luke Andrews, Hunter Sobel, and Elizabeth Seguis. So a note for our live stream audience, the program that people are holding in paper form in the hall today is available through a link in the chat on the live stream, so you should be able to click that open and follow along. There's lots of rich information, bios about today's artists, and program notes about the pieces, although we'll also hear from our composers as well before each piece. So this spring, the brief for the Composers Project was for our three composers to take inspiration from our slate of fantastic spring temporary exhibitions, specifically The Hum of Life, 1001 Tales from Bali, which is on view through May 7th here, Alexis Rockman, Bay of Naples, on view through June 7th, and A Life of Collecting, Gifts of Native American Art from Malcolm Whyte, Class of 55, and Karen Whyte, which is also on view through June 7th. And we'll have a moment a little later to encounter those exhibitions. Finally, I'd just like to mention that the final program in the piano series this spring will take place on Friday, April 24th at 2 p.m. here in the adjacent Robinson Lecture Hall. And that's entitled Piano Portraits, Art and Music Making in London, circa 1800. And that program will explore the affinities between an English portrait pastel of a young woman seated at an English square piano, various square pianos, and exploring the types of repertoire played and composed by women for such instruments during the Georgian period in London. So we encourage you to come be with us in person or on live stream for that, if that's what you need to do. So now I'd like to turn things over to Patricia Garcia-Gil, who's going to talk a little bit about the roadmap for today's program. And so glad you're with us. Thank you.
Well, thank you everyone for being here. I love how you started, Andy, with hello friends, because now we're friends through these collaborations that we do here. And this is a project that I deeply care about because it brings together performers, composers, art historians, curators, and basically it's encouraging something that I value very much, which is dialogue across disciplines and across new and old music. In this case, we have here this beautiful instrument, which is an original piano from 1865, an English piano, a Broadwood. And I am very excited to see it being alive through these new ideas, compositions that have been written very thoughtfully for the instrument, but also for the acoustics of the museum, and of course, around the inspiration that these wonderful composers got from the three temporary exhibitions. So just so you know, each of the composers, I will invite them to say something briefly about their piece before playing it. But then they're going to be your hosts to show you the exhibition parts or ideas or materials, colors, whatever they really were inspired from. And you will be able to, of course, admire the exhibition, but also get a little more of a sense on how this music emerged from that inspiration. I also want to thank the museum one more time, and Device Local, but also Jakub Kokuciek, who has been working to create this series, Sarafina Masters, and all these other people involved in making it happen. And thank you so much. Also to the music department, the Cornell Center for Historical Keyboards, and the composition faculty as well, because I know how enthusiastic they are about the project and about having the students who are just artists creating this music for us. So thank you very much. Welcome, and I hope you enjoy.
So this first piece that you're going to hear is called Lo Guarancino. It is a theme and variations, actually, on an old Neapolitan folk song about fish and about jealousy and about this sort of human quality of, repeating oneself, I suppose. We are lucky to have this Broadwood. It's been a wonderful luxury to be able to write for this specific instrument. An interesting fact is that there's this virtual instrument library, a pianotech library, that has a physically modeled version of this exact same piano. You might notice the speakers. So in this piece, there is, yes, the Broadwood, but also up to 20 clones of it as well. So in the continuing this theme and variations of repetition, one thing I want to think about, I suppose, is this question of, well, have you ever said a word so many times that it loses its meaning? What is that sort of similar process for a political question that we keep questioning of ecology and this idea that the future is always in the future, that we are always either in the present or in the past? This connects, I think, very well to the Rockwell exhibit, which is thinking through these sort of overlapping time worlds and questioning maybe what we think of that. So, thank you.
lovely to see you all here today. Thank you so much, Coral, and Patricia, for the beautiful piece that we just heard. My piece, Sky Darkening, is written specifically for the Broadwood piano, and I was initially drawn to the beautiful timbre that it has. It's very ringing and resonant and expansive, and so that's something that I really wanted to play with in this piece. And so there are 3 movements that explore various techniques of dampening, extending ringing timbres, and trying to extend the metallic quality as well of the piano. And I just want to extend a thank you to the lovely museum staff who supervised me as I worked with the piano in the Johnson Museum, and also Patricia and Andy, thank you so much for facilitating such a wonderful series. And finally, Federico Acali, who is going to be performing the piece. So thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Eliot, and I have a couple people I'd like to thank first. First, Andy and Patricia for organizing this whole thing. It's a really wonderful opportunity. Thank you for the Johnson and the CCHK and Liam and all of the live stream crew. Appreciate you all. And thank you to Jack for playing my piece. I really appreciate it. When thinking about what I was going to do for this, there were so many different things that I had to consider. One of the major things I was thinking about was Jack's particular musical personality and taste. And if you know Jack, you know that he has strong opinions, many of which I agree with about music. And so I really wanted to interact with who he was as a performer with my piece and not just impose what I might usually do on him. So typically, I write pieces where most of the music is algorithmically generated with either some social or mathematical process. But in this piece, I listened to every note and did what I thought felt right at every decision. So it was a much more intuitive process than I might usually do. And the other thing that I had to work with, which is the exhibition of the art from Bali, which is down the hall, and I hope you all see after the concert, which has so many amazing and different pieces of art in there. It's like enough things to inspire 1,000 pieces for me, or I don't know, just so many. So I chose one thing, which was there's some shadow puppets from the Wyong in there as inspiration for my piece. And in Wyong, despite the puppets being really beautiful art objects in themselves, they're hidden behind a screen and seen mainly as shadows. So in this piece, I would like to invite you all to listen to the space of the Johnson itself, as it resonates from the sound of the piano, and also from the piano as you can hear the Johnson through it. Thank you, hope you enjoy it.
Thank you all so much, composers, performers, for such a wonderful program. I'd love to invite all of our composers and pianists back up one more time for another round of applause, please.